Σε αυτό το επεισόδιο του Home Not Alone θα μιλήσουμε με 8 πολίτες από 8 διαφορετικά σημεία του κόσμου. Από την Ιταλία, την Ισπανία, την Κίνα, την Ινδία, το Μεξικό, τη Μεγάλη Βρετανία, τη Γερμανία, τις Ηνωμένες Πολιτείες της Αμερικής, για να μας περιγράψουν πώς έχει επηρεάσει η κρίση του κορονοϊού τη χώρα τους, αλλά και πώς το βιώνουν οι ίδιοι όλο αυτό. Hi Rosvita.
Hi.
What's been going on in Italy the last weeks is really dreadful. However, the virus has not hit the whole country in the same way. The problem mainly concentrates in some areas in northern Italy, such as the Lombardy region. So, what exactly happened there, causing the situation to get out of control?
According to me, and I say according to me because I read those things online, but I'm not sure, I don't know what to trust anymore. So, according to me, there were a lot of reasons, and one of those reasons is that they didn't react quickly while other cities did. Another one is that family doctors didn't have the tools to protect themselves and also other people, especially the older ones. This matters considering that they have to visit them in their own homes. So this was a big issue. Also, northern Italy has a lot of factories, and they weren't obliged to close until the last week of March.
Although the case of Italy might have served as an example for other European countries on how to handle the pandemic, Italians' response has also acted as an inspiration for people around the globe on how to cope with self-isolation. It was you who initiated the balcony singing trend. So what other solidarity initiatives have been launched in Italy these days?
Okay, let's say that Italians are cool, and I am very proud of it. Another thing we did was going to the window and start clapping hands to thank doctors, nurses, and everyone who's working these days in the hospitals, because they're doing an amazing job in a very bad environment.
And this also circulated in other countries as well?
Oh, yeah. And that's very, very nice. Another thing we did was, another thing I saw online on social networks was that psychologists are offering a free first session. And I think that this is very important and very nice because they are reaching people in order to let them know that they can get help, even online in these days.
Hi, Jose, and thank you for joining us. Unfortunately, Spain has now become the second most affected European country in terms of coronavirus-related cases and fatalities. What are the doctors at the hospital saying, and how is your government responding?
Well, the doctors are saying that the situation is in a complete collapse. Like all the hospitals in those regions that have been more affected, like Madrid or Catalonia, the Basque countries, they're completely overwhelmed. They don't have the resources, they don't have the personnel, they don't have the staff, they don't have the beds. And they're just desperately asking for more material, more people, more instruments to actually be able to attend and respond to this crisis.
And what about the rest of the people? What is the general sentiment in Spain right now?
The general sentiment, so we've been in a total lockdown for the last 10 days. And people are actually, it's quite surprising that people are quite disciplined and they're very aware of the problem and the necessity to stay home. We usually have we suffer from this stereotype that people from the south of Europe are not very well disciplined and we do whatever we want. But to actually look at what is happening now, people are being very disciplined. The costs are not really distributed evenly. There are many people, like homeless people who have not been able to stop working, people who live in a precarious situation of abuse or violence. This situation, it's not gonna really do them any good.
Yeah, it's true that some people are much more vulnerable than others. Hi, Grace. You are in the country where it all started, but also in the country where it all seems about to end. What measures have your authorities undertaken in order to flatten the coronavirus curve? And has everyday life turned back to normal or not completely yet?
Hi, Natalia, thank you for asking. So the two main measurements are taken by the Chinese government. Is one, shut down all the public transportation within Wuhan and also the Hubei province. And the second one is lock down all the neighborhood or communities, exactly like where I live. So they block all the entrance. So you have to go out or get in with a permission, or you can't get in. So my city, which is quite close to Wuhan, is already like half back to normal, but not completely back on track. But Wuhan is reported to be back on track, including reopen all the public transportation on 8th of April.
And how has this whole situation affected you personally?
So we're basically stay indoors, just like the government suggests us to do. So we all stayed indoors, and we made online food deliveries. We pay through Alipay, which is the Alibaba Group product, which is very useful in this difficult time. So all the volunteers within our neighborhood or community are going to send the food or grocery shoppings to our homes, like door-to-door delivery service. So it's very convenient. It really feels like a bit stuck and also like boring, stay at home for so many days. But thinking of all the doctors and all the volunteers, they're sacrificing their lives fighting with this coronavirus, and also they're spending great amount of time to do this kind of public service. So I feel like stay at home is nothing compared to what they have sacrificed.
Μαρία Χριστίνα, η Μεγάλη Βρετανία έλαβε μέτρα για τον κορονοϊό αρκετά ετεροχρονισμένα σε σχέση με άλλες χώρες του κόσμου. Στο Λονδίνο που βρίσκεσαι εσύ, πώς είναι τα πράγματα μετά την αλλαγή στρατηγικής του Τζόνσον?
Ομολογουμένως, ο Μπόρις Τζόνσον καθυστέρησε να ανακοινώσει αυστηρά μέτρα, και αυτό σημαίνει ότι η ζωή στο Λονδίνο κυλούσε κανονικά χωρίς καμία αλλαγή. Πήγαιναν να χρησιμοποιήσουν τα μέσα μεταφοράς, πήγαιναν στις δουλειές τους οι Βρετανοί. Αυτό σταδιακά άλλαξε όταν το σύστημα υγείας τους, το οποίο ήταν ήδη αποδυναμωμένο και πριν από την κρίση με τον κορονοϊό, άρχισε να επισημαίνει την επικινδυνότητα του ιού και τις δυσκολίες που θα είχε να απορροφήσει όλα τα κρούσματα που μπορούν να προκύψουν. Αυτό σημαίνει ότι άρχισαν να πανικοβάλλονται οι Βρετανοί. Από τότε άρχισαν να πηγαίνουν στα σούπερ μάρκετ, να αδειάζουν τα ράφια, και υπήρχε ένας πανικός. Αυτό τελικά άλλαξε όταν η κυβέρνηση ανακοίνωσε πραγματικά αυστηρά μέτρα αυτοπεριορισμού στο σπίτι, και δημιουργήθηκε και ένα δίκτυο εθελοντών. Πάνω από 400.000 άτομα έχουν κάνει αυτή τη στιγμή συμμετοχή για να βοηθήσουν, και από τότε όλοι είναι κλεισμένοι στο σπίτι.
Γνωρίζω ότι στο πλαίσιο του διδακτορικού σου στέλνες είσαι και βοηθός καθηγητή. Πώς έχει επηρεάσει όλη αυτή η κατάσταση την πορεία των μαθημάτων?
Βεβαίως, αυτή η κρίση έπιασε και τα πανεπιστήμια εξαπίνης, και αυτό σήμαινε ότι έπρεπε πάρα πολύ γρήγορα να προσαρμοστούν σε νέα δεδομένα. Ειδικά πανεπιστήμια όπως το δικό μου, που έχει φοιτητές από πάρα πολλές χώρες, σήμαινε ότι πάρα πολλοί από αυτούς έπρεπε να επιστρέψουν στις χώρες τους, και από τότε ο τρόπος διδασκαλίας, ο τρόπος που ο καθένας κάνει το διδακτορικό του και οι τρόποι αξιολόγησης των φοιτητών γίνονται όλοι μέσα από διαδικτυακές πλατφόρμες και video calls.
Γεια σου Μιχάλη. Πώς είναι το κλίμα στη Νέα Υόρκη? Δυστυχώς τα στοιχεία δείχνουν ότι τα κρούσματα είναι πάρα πολλά. Γιατί θεωρείς ότι έχει συμβεί αυτό?
Συμβαίνει επειδή γενικά τα μέτρα πάρθηκαν λίγο αργά. Γενικά, όταν πρώτο άρχισαν τα κρούσματα στην Κίνα και στην Ασία, γενικά ο κόσμος αισθάνεται ακόμα προφυλαγμένος τέλος πάντων από αυτά, επειδή είναι πολύ μακριά από αυτούς. Οπότε, όταν πια άρχισαν τα πρώτα κρούσματα στη Νέα Υόρκη, ήταν πια πολύ αργά. Γενικά, στο ρυθμό ζωής στη Νέα Υόρκη, ο κόσμος αναστρέφεται με πολύ κόσμο. Παίρνει μετρό, έξω στα πάρκα, στα καφενεία. Είναι πολύ έτσι δραστήριος και βλέπει πολύ κόσμο. Οπότε, όταν πια εμφανίστηκε το πρώτο κρούσμα, ήδη είχε αρχίσει να εξαπλώνεται ο ιός και να μετατρέφεται σε άλλους. Τώρα έχουμε μπει όλοι σε κουαρεντίνα, δηλαδή τα περισσότερα γραφεία έχουν σταματήσει, τα μετρό έχουν μειωθεί. Δουλεύουν ακόμα ώστε η εργατική τάξη που βοηθάει στα νοσοκομεία και στα σούπερ μάρκετ να μπορεί να μετακινηθεί, αλλά γενικά ο κόσμος έχει περιοριστεί.
Μεταξύ άλλων, ο Τραμπ επέβαλε και ταξιδιωτικό περιορισμό από και προς την Ευρώπη από πολύ νωρίς. Πώς το σχολιάζεις αυτό το μέτρο, αλλά και την ευρύτερη στάση που έχει κρατήσει όλο αυτό το διάστημα?
Ναι, για το travel ban γενικά ήρθε λίγο σαν σοκ αρχικά. Εντάξει, κατανοητό βέβαια, επειδή καταλαβαίνουν όλοι ότι πρέπει να περιοριστούν οι μετακινήσεις ώστε να προφυλαχτούν όλοι. Αλλά γενικά για κάποιους που ζει στο εξωτερικό και η οικογένειά του είναι στην Ελλάδα ή σε άλλη χώρα, Είναι λίγο καταπιεστικό, επειδή ξέρουμε ότι οτιδήποτε συμβεί και χρειαστεί, είτε για μας λόγω healthcare εδώ, είτε για τους γονείς μας και η οικογένεια μας στο σπίτι, θα θέλαμε να μετακινηθούμε και να γυρίσουμε. Και αυτό δεν μπορούμε, οπότε είναι λίγο καταπιεστικό.
Hi, Roberto. The situation at the US-Mexico border has already been intense, but the coronavirus crisis has put an extra pressure on it. Can you describe what is currently happening there in more detail?
Hello, Natalia, of course. Well, in fact, some days ago, the American and the Mexican governments agreed to close the Valenti border with the exemption, of course, of trade. And this is a very difficult situation in an area where the cultural and social links are very, very intense, where a high number of cities are divided just by a border and crossing multiple times to one or to the other side because of work, family, entertainment reason, education is done in a normal basis. So the cases in the United States and in the southern counties of the United States are exponentially soaring, in particular in the California area. So that's pretty scary because of geography and the possible transmission of cases and of the virus. In general terms, I think the Mexican government has chosen a strategy for the containment of the virus. The logic of the Mexican government, the approach is grounded on the experience the country and our public health officials gained from the H1N1 epidemic back in 2009, and the notion that the public health system is highly professional and capable enough to respond to the crisis in a timely manner. Of course, the healthcare system is different in the country. In the cities is much better than in rural areas or where indigenous communities are located.
Hi, Chaya. Would you like to describe the situation in India a bit further for us? As of today, you don't have many confirmed cases nor many fatalities, but I read that you have lots of quarantine runaways, meaning people who don't follow the guidelines and aren't staying home. Is that true? And how big of an issue is that right now in India?
So first of all, thank you so much for having me here, Natalia. We don't have that many numbers of confirmed cases as compared to other countries, though the numbers are increasing day by day. And I think the reason behind that is that we are in a 21-day lockdown, at least as of now, and hopefully that will reduce the number as well. Regarding the runaways that you were talking about, yes, in the beginning, people did flout the rules a little bit, but now the government is coming down very heavily on people who might be flouting the rules with a lot of legal regulations in place as well. So apart from that, there is financial funding and subsidies in place for small businesses. Commercial flights have been suspended, and there are about 118 labs prepared to test for coronavirus.
Hi, Tina. Germany has one of the lowest mortality rates in comparison to the reported cases. How do experts in your country explain that? Does it have to do with aggressive testing or maybe with the characteristics of Germany's public healthcare system?
So in Germany, we still have a pretty low mortality rate compared to other countries, such as, for instance, Spain, Italy, or the UK. And as far as I understood, this is mainly because of the higher testing rates that we have compared to countries like Italy. And however, the situation is still developing rapidly. So we have the government's central public health body, which is called the Robert Koch Institute. And the president has been giving a press conference each day for the past few weeks. I also think that perhaps Germany is better medically prepared for the COVID-19 pandemic than other countries. I think that's simply because we have had time in order to, for instance, clear beds in hospitals and clinics and stock up in equipment in order for the clinics and doctors and nurses to be prepared for when the crisis gets more severe here in Germany.
Can you make any projections for the future? Do you think life will be different when all this ends?
Well, on the one hand, we are afraid that this is going to generate another huge economic crisis, just like the one that we had in 2008. And we know because it's so recent, the working class people are going to pay for it. On the other hand, we can also be optimistic. There's a chance that all these crises are going to put care and affection at the center of politics. That it's a good opportunity to show that actually what matters is not the economy itself. What matters is a decent living, is the life of people.
So since you've stayed at home for 2 months now, is there any tip that you could give us on how to maintain our mental health under these extreme conditions?
Enjoying the time with your family and do more exercise at home would be the 2 tips for the mental health and also your physical health.
Do you have a final message that you would like to share with the rest of us being in quarantine as well?
Yes, of course. These are very scary times, but your health is in your hand. So stay indoors, stay safe, stay hygienic, and take care of your grandparents and your younger ones as well. They are the most vulnerable. And please, please take care of your mental health in this time, because that's the most important. And hopefully we can fight coronavirus together.